I'd highly recommend understanding what the current elevation of the property is and what you need to build to. So today we're going to go over home elevations and why they're critical here in Florida. We went over this a little bit before, but we're going to go a little bit more in depth. So, one, when you're discussing home elevations, when you're building new construction here in Florida, the biggest thing is protecting you from the floods, any sort of flooding, any sort of rain events, and the elevation of your home ends up protecting you from flooding and stormwater. And you can do some quick Google searches and see what's happened over the years in certain areas, especially where the homes are not at an elevation that works for today. Next thing is really just understanding the flood zones and what flood zones that are there, and specifically where you're interested in buying. What are the variable flood zones even in that same community? Communities have and can have more than one flood zone. So I've really checked with FEMA on the government website and other, articles that are online that can better explain that for you. We've talked multiple times about the drainage around the home and how critical and important that is. And just overall, the reason of building up, it's the flooding, the storm water, and keeping that out of your home. But it's also water intrusion, foundation related issues can be caused by that, and overall drainage problems as well. So, getting into like site planning and elevation planning usually is involved with, the amount of dirt that you need to bring in, fill dirt, grading, compacting, and other engineering considerations to bring that home up to your base flood elevation so you at least meet code requirements. And there's people that, which remember that the code requirements, that is a minimum. There are people, and I've had clients where we are building above that as well. Well, yes, it does, cost more money, but it's definitely a preventative measure for the homeowner. So, really, in conclusion, the proper elevations end up protecting the home from water and just long term overall potential damage from storms and overall stormwater. So, I'd highly recommend understanding what the current elevation of the property is and what you need to build to. And you will be successful if you pay attention to that.